Alright, now we're recording. And we're recording. Are we? Is the light blinking? Yep, light's blinking. I'm good at this.
You're doing great.
I am.
Better you than me. You just need to trip and fall.
We definitely need better cameras.
Camera would fall over, pick it up. Jesus Christ.
Add it to the board! So we've decided we're going to get a whiteboard with things you can't say on YouTube. It's already full.
Yeah, we're going to need a second whiteboard before we get a first one.
Your wife's going to be pissed. I'm just going to start writing on the wall.
Yeah, she's the one who painted all this.
Well, she can repaint it, and then we'll have to start from scratch.
They'll love it. They'll love it.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Uncivilized-Investigations. That was corny as hell.
That was reach even for you.
It was. All right, so my case tonight takes us to the disappearance of Michael J. Malinowski in 1996 from the Pine Creek Gorge.
Not too far from the cabin.
Not very far at all. It's on the West Rim, and my cabin's on West Rim Road. So...
pretty close.
Yeah. I haven't heard of the actual place he disappeared, but I am going to... look at it, because I'm very curious. Next time we go to the cabin, we might take a hike. I just hope we don't find him. Because...
I mean, I'd imagine if we did find him, though.
Yeah, but I got a... We'll get to what my theory is at the end, but I've got a funny feeling if we find him, we're not going to be found either.
We're going to bring a camera, though.
That'll be all that, yeah, and then what?
The cloud, man. We gotta appoint somebody to...
Oh, that's right, you've never been to my cabin.
No.
It's a dead zone. There is no cloud. There is no Wi-Fi. There is no cell service.
I mean, if it's Bigfoot, how do you not know he's rocking Xfinity in his cabin?
Well, I mean, that could be it.
Go missing for hundreds of years. Nobody finds you. How do you pass the time?
This is true. Bigfoot's real.
You're telling me.
So, the Pine Creek Gorge is one of those places that looks incredible in photos, and then you get there and realize the photos forgot to mention the part where one wrong step sends you to meet Jesus. I've actually been there. It is exactly like they say. You could be hiking in the woods and all of a sudden you come out to a literal cliff that drops you 1,500 feet down into the Pine Creek, which is not a very deep creek.
It's wide though, isn't it?
It's pretty wide. It's probably about 50 yards, 60 yards. I know where it goes through the actual canyon, it gets narrow. There's actually whitewater. But we're right up...
I think I went tubing or rafting up there. Not with you guys. I did that years ago.
They run whitewater rafting through the canyon.
I know I've been through Pine Creek Gorge.
But where we are above Blackwell, you can walk across and be up to your waist, maybe.
Okay.
So you get 1,500 feet into 3 feet of water.
So no cannonballs?
No cannonballs. And there's a lot of places where it's, like a couple
Definitely
inches.
no cannonballs.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that when this goes on Spotify, people aren't going to be able to see the hand motions I'm making.
If you got to do it elaborate enough.
Yeah, just hard. Knife hands. But it was actually carved into Pennsylvania by glaciers moving. That's how the Pine Creek Gorge was formed.
That's actually interesting.
Yep. But back in 96, the entire area turned into the center of one of the weirdest missing person cases Pennsylvania's ever had. It was a guy by the name of Michael Joseph Malinowski. He came up for a quiet 3-day weekend, took his camera, took a hike, and then it seems like he just ceased to exist.
How do I get that lucky?
I don't know. I said that to my boss the other day that I'm listening to podcasts about missing persons and I'm jealous.
I'll probably be found.
A little bit of history about the Pine Creek Gorge. It was I believe it was the Seneca called it the land of pines because it used to be all old growth hemlocks and pines. And then the logging company showed up in the 18 something or others. And basically said, yeah, we're going to cut all this down. And they literally buzz cut it.
Just cleared it.
They would drop the logs into the pine. They would have a dam set up to hold the water back, drop the logs in, and then blow the dam. and shoot the logs down the Pine Creek. There were actually, I can actually picture you doing this. They were called log drivers. They would stand on the logs to keep them from getting jammed up as they shot down the river.
That's something you could have talked me into pretty easy, I'm sure.
Yeah. Guess what they made doing that? Guess how much they were paid to do that?
This is in the 1800s?
Yeah.
Did they even get paid?
Oh, they got paid.
Like a nickel a log?
No, it was about $1 to $2, depending on their proficiency.
In the 1800s, that would have been pretty good.
It was about $40 to $50.
Yeah.
Yeah. A day, though. A day, not an hour.
Yeah, but a gallon of milk wasn't $5 then.
This is true. But no helmets, no life jackets, most of the time no shoes. And they're just...
Not that far off from what it is.
This is true. But yeah, so those guys did that. And then after they were done logging, wildfires blew through the area and burned up all the slash. And they actually used to refer to the area as the Pennsylvania Desert because there was just
barren,
nothing left.
Oh, thinking about it, that's actually a pretty ingenious way of moving all that lumber.
Yeah.
Just throwing it into a river and letting it take it where it's going.
They would take it down to the near... I mean, that's why the railroad tracks are there, because they would load it onto trains there. Yep. But they also mined a lot in the area. And the mine... Right? It was... I actually did look this up. There was slate mining. I believe there was very minuscule coal mining. There was another one, granite, possibly?
No, Granite State, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Probably granite.
But the problem is, this is back before mines had to be
safe,
documented.
Oh.
So there are mine shafts. There are, ventilation shafts. All over the place. Not so much in the area he disappeared, but literally a mile, I believe it said a mile west of where he disappeared, is where this starts up. So there could be...
fall into a mine shaft.
Yes, exactly. And it's not like today where there's big signs saying there's a mine here. A ventilation shaft could be smaller than this table and covered up with sticks and branches, and you just...
Yeah, they make it the easiest way they can. They don't have modern technology to build.
But that's one of the theories. So yeah, he wasn't a thrill seeker. He wasn't your rock climber, mountain biker type of guy. From the interviews that I read, he was very low-key, kept to himself. He was a psychological therapy, something along those lines. His roommate said he actually labeled the food in the refrigerator.
So he's very obsessive as well.
Yes, very neat, tidy, clean. Not
wouldn't match our...
No, nothing like us. No. But yeah, he went to I don't know what Google Drive is doing right now, but I feel like it shook up my notes.
I don't know if I'm even on the same one you are.
And it just kind of put them back together. He was born and raised in Pennsylvania. He was college educated. He worked as a mental health counselor at the Greater Trenton Community Mental Health Center, which is, I think, near Jersey.
Greater Trenton, probably northeast area, I would imagine. Can't confirm, but...
he was gentle, patient, reliable. He was a vegetarian, which in 96, it wasn't like the cool thing to do like it is now. Being
1896.
No, 1996.
Oh.
Yeah.
1800s was the logging company.
1800s was the logging companies. I'm not sure vegetarians existed in the 1800s.
Here.
Yeah. From what I could find, he had no run-ins with the law, no substance abuse issues. His coworkers joked that he lived on apples and granola. He was very quiet, analytical, careful planner, borderline obsessive-compulsive.
Well, if you're going to go as far to label stuff in the refrigerator.
Yeah. He liked to take day hikes. He wasn't like a backpacker, but he was known for going out. He had been at the spot where he went, he had been at numerous times throughout the year to take pictures in different seasons.
More like a leisurely hike than an adventurous hike?
Yes. It's not like he was going miles and miles and miles. He was taking well-known trails, taking pictures, coming home. Yeah. He was divorced 3 years prior to his disappearance. But from all the accounts I read, he got along with his ex-wife. It was a mutual breakup. They had They had a 10-year-old son, John, and he was actually working on moving out west to be closer to his ex-wife and kid.
Okay.
She was never looked at as any type of suspect in the disappearance. And actually, her name was never even disclosed because they didn't ever think she had anything to do with it. My first thought was the ex-wife did.
Yeah,
but
ex-wife.
He did see a therapist. His therapist said he did suffer from minor depression, but nothing that screams, I'm going to go kill myself in the woods. He was depressed because of the breakup and losing his marriage and losing his son. They split custody, so he didn't lose his son.
Well, it changed your lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. And if they lived out west, it wasn't like, hey, I'm coming over to see him. It was, hey, you get him every 6 months or whatever, I would assume. I don't know for sure.
Pop by for a visit.
Yeah. Yeah, so minor, let's try English this time. I feel like that lady with the FOIA request. Like I said, mild depression, but he was still social. He did things with coworkers. He wasn't like hiding in his apartment.
And being in the therapy field, he probably knew how to handle his depression as well.
And again, it actually said it multiple times that his therapist confirmed multiple times that he was showing no warning signs of walking away from his life, ending his life. For YouTube, we'll call it deleting himself.
Leaving the chat. But
the dude was normal. That's what makes this so crazy because, if you or I would go missing, people would be like, yeah, yep, makes sense.
After the party ended.
Yeah. But this dude, he wasn't your let's go missing type of person.
Yeah.
So, the timeline. October 24th of 1996, he was at a morning psychology seminar. Now, I couldn't find where the seminar was. It was suggested that it was at Westchester University because they're well known for their psychology seminars, apparently. But nowhere in any police reports does it mention where the seminar was, so I guess it's not that important.
If you can't find any, I can't imagine being too connected.
Yeah. And then and I looked that up, that was on a Thursday.
Okay.
So it sounds like after the seminar, he decided he was going to rent a car and head north to the Pine Creek Gorge, which is something he had done previously. He checked into the Pine Tree Lodge at 4:30 p.m. He brought enough clothing for a 2-day stay. When he calls his roommate Greg that night, Greg Rossi, him and Michael lived together after the divorce. That's where he ended up living. And told him that he would be home in 2 days. Greg said they talked a little bit, and he seemed fine. There was no...
Doesn't seem like he was planning on going missing.
Nope. He said he was upbeat. He was excited to go get some pictures. He said, I'll be home in 2 days. Yada, yada.
And if he's checking in with his roommate, why would he do that if he wasn't going to raise any concern?
Yep. So no red flags at that point. October 25th, it is assumed he got up early to catch the morning light coming through the canyon to take his pictures because that is something he had spoken about doing.
Yeah.
And then he never returned to the cabin.
Just like that.
The last person to talk to him was Greg.
And that was the
night before. The bed looked slept in, so they know he was there that night.
Was the room, damaged in any way? Or?
Nope. Everything was neat, organized, just like he was known to be. The clothing was there. It was folded up. It was just...
So it was left like he was returning?
Yes. Yep, 100%.
Huh.
And that's where things went from a quiet weekend trip to what the hell happened to this guy.
Yeah, I'd say.
So the park superintendent at the time was Steve Farrell for Colton Point State Park, which is the nearest state park to where he was.
Okay.
According to his reports, the size and duration of... Oh, yeah. See, this is all jumbled. So, let me try and get to where they find his car before I tell you what they used when they found his car.
Yeah, I'm not even...
So he had rented a 95 Nissan Sentra, which I believe is like a little 4-door car.
I believe it's a 4-door.
Yeah.
I think it still is a 4-door.
Might be. I'm not really up on my old cars. I mean, I started driving with a 95 Corsica, so...
That's true.
Yeah. But it was found at the Barbour Rock Overlook Access Parking Area. It's on the west rim of the Pine Creek Gorge, which is part of the Colton Point State Park in Tioga County. It's a very popular trail access point right along the canyon rim. There's very steep drop-offs. It's heavily wooded and easy to get turned around if you leave the established trail. His car was discovered by a Forestry Bureau worker. That happened after he was declared missing. The
How long after from the day he left the hotel to when he was declared missing?
I believe it was 2 days.
Okay.
Because I think it was his checkout came and went. And the owner of the hotel, it wasn't a hotel, it was like a lodge. Mm-hmm. But the manager of the lodge, I guess, from what I read, his employees were like, hey, we just went to clean this dude's room and all the shit's still here.
Yeah, everything's still here. He hasn't checked out.
Yeah, he never checked out, and that's when, hey, give the guy props. I can't imagine he was a well-paid employee if he worked at a lodge. But he was like, hey, there might be a problem here. I think he notified park staff. I'm not
actually pretty admirable of him, because anywhere else would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Run the credit card another day.
Yep. So he notified the park staff, and they did a quick initial search, and his car was found by the Bureau of Forestry at Barber Rock Outlook. So the the superintendent, Steve Farrell, according to his report, they searched for 5 days, dawn to dusk each day. They searched the canyon walls, the rim trails, the side drainages, and the surrounding forest in and around the Pine Creek Gorge, which is a pretty large area.
It's a pretty sizable area.
Yes. At one point, they had over 125 people on the ground, between firefighters, local volunteers, park staff and rangers, and search and rescue personnel with canine units. They also had both live and cadaver dogs.
Okay.
And the weirdest thing was, they also had rope rappelling teams going down the canyon walls to see if he had fallen off and was on a ledge or whatever.
Probably better than standing on the edge and leaning over.
3 helicopters did grid searches and looking for his bright clothing or gear. Now, one thing that I didn't understand. So, in his car, if I can find it in my notes, but I know this stood out to me. Before we get to that. And the weather conditions, if any of you watching are familiar with, like, Missing 411 or anything, you'll notice that the weather conditions always hinder the search. There's always a snowstorm, a rainstorm, whatever.
Yeah, never fails.
The weather was gorgeous. Mid-50s, no rain.
So they had ideal conditions.
It wasn't windy, so it wouldn't have messed up scent for the cadaver dog or the search dogs.
No rain, so it wouldn't wash any scent away.
And Gaines Township Chief Mark Rezu said that he had never been involved in such an extensive search operation, and they literally found nothing.
Not even any scents or anything?
Not even at his car.
No.
They literally found nothing.
Even if he was the passenger or the driver of the car, he would have had something in the vehicle.
Well, they found scent in the car.
But leaving the car.
But the dogs did not alert to anything, even on the approach path to the trail. So the theory... Now, they did say he was on an overlook, and it was somewhat breezy on the overlook. It could have blown that scent away. They expected that. But they walked the trails with the dogs. The dogs never alerted once. No scent.
Yeah, that's...
And I mean, I would get it, okay, one dog's having a bad day, but there were 9 separate dogs. I don't know what the mashup was between cadaver dogs and
yeah, but I'm sure they wouldn't run the same dog. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
If they go to the car and don't get a scent, they're not going to keep the same dog on. They're going to run another dog over.
And they're going to overlap, I would assume. I mean, I've been involved with searches. They're going to overlap. But in his car was his, and some of these things I find odd, his on-zip day pack, his cell phone was inside the pack, which that was unzipped, which 96, what kind of cell phone did he have?
Oh, probably not the size.
Yeah, right? His jacket was still in the car, which, okay, it's 50s, you're hiking. Could have had long sleeves or a hoodie on.
Even if it's breezy, you got the trees to break the wind, so yep. I can see not needing a jacket.
A 2/3 empty water jug, I'm assuming a gallon jug, which I read that to mean he probably poured it into a water bottle or whatnot.
Or it was one he had in his car for when he returned.
Yep. Apples, a box of low-fat Cheez-Its, his empty camera case was sitting on the dashboard, and a pair, for some reason it was mentioned in multiple reports, there was a cassette in the tape player.
Now, you have to explain cassettes to some of these people now.
They were our iPods. They were about this big, and they slid into a slot in your dashboard, and they played music.
You could actually record music onto them from the radio.
But the last thing, and the thing that blew my mind, was a pair of rubber-soled hiking boots.
If he was going hiking, why wouldn't he have worn them?
Now, it doesn't say what he was wearing, so perhaps he had hiking boots on also and just had a backup pair? Or a pair of, rain boots? I don't know.
I mean, that's not too far out there.
But I just thought it was really... And his day pack. If he's going out to take pictures for the day... So that tells me he wasn't planning on being gone long.
Well, yeah, if he has his camera, he's just going to be carrying it then.
Yeah, and then... nothing.
I mean, low-fat Cheez-Its, I probably would have went missing, too, if that was my choice for snack.
Chief Mark Rescue said the pieces don't fit and every theory they've come up with has some sort of hole. Park Superintendent Steve Farrell said it was one of them, and this is a direct quote from him, it was one of the most exhaustive searches we've ever done, and we found absolutely nothing. This is another one of those cases. Some of the cases I've been reading, it kind of sounds like the police or park rangers or whatever dropped the ball, or they don't start the search right away. This search was started as soon as they knew he was missing.
And the assets they used doesn't seem like
it seems like they dumped everything into it.
And being that area, that small, well, not small, but unpopulated of an area, that's a pretty extensive amount of assets they brought to as well.
Yeah. So now we're going to roll into some theories. Number one is an accident. He fell, something happened, he either died or broke a leg. However...
But if he stayed with the trail for the most part...
Even if he fell off the trail, they searched everywhere. There'd be a scent.
And even if he fell off an edge, they looked below. So yeah, that.
Yep. So there's the hole in that one. Theory number two was some sort of medical event, heart attack, stroke. I mean, he was only in his 30s, but it's possible.
But you still would have.
But again, he wouldn't just cease to exist.
Yeah,
he would be found somewhere.
And that would probably be in a pretty common traffic area as
you
well,
would think.
if it were a medical event.
An animal attack. A lot of people thought maybe he got in the way of a bear. I know there are bear up there. They're not very big, let me tell you.
And they usually scatter.
There are also, the PA Game Commission says no, but people have videos of mountain lions, especially up north. Mm-hmm. But even so, there would be
track,
blood, signs of a struggle. Now, a mountain lion will carry its prey away, but still, he would have left the scent.
Well, a mountain lion carrying a body away, you would see a drag.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be picked it up and walked it.
Yep. Suicide. But again, where is the body? My only question is, in no reports did I see that they searched the actual water. Now, that was in March. It still had
probably flowing.
Water was flowing, but still, you think they would search something downstream?
I'm sure there's somewhere that
it funnels in,
and you can see something along the banks
mm-hmm.
of it as it's flowing.
But yeah, they never searched the water.
They also mentioned that they didn't believe he was suspected of leaving the chat.
Yeah. Number 5 is foul play. That is probably one of the better. That he was abducted as soon as he got out of his car. But why?
But I'm sure if somebody tried to steal me out of getting out of my car, you'd see some sort of signs of a struggle.
Maybe. He was very laid back, and it seems...
Yeah, how laid back? Well, get in this van, big guy.
If they had a gun... I'm not saying I don't believe it. None of these are my theories.
Yeah, that one's a little out there for me. I just feel like you would see some sort of sign of a struggle.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on the ground around the car.
Theory number 6, and this is what some of the police leaned towards, was a clean walk away. He literally walked away from his life. But nothing in his characteristics. He had his son. He had a good job. His friend said, he didn't seem... It's not like he was going through things where he had to walk away. And his bank accounts have never been touched.
What was it, 3 years after the divorce?
Mm-hmm.
One could consider that.
Yeah, but...
It would take some planning, and like you said, his bank account's untouched, he might have... In 3 years, you can plan an awful lot in 3 years.
He could have been funneling money out slowly.
He planned this in a week.
Yeah. Don't remind me. But yeah, so those are the theories. The only other theory that I've read, and it was only by one person, but it's the mine theory.
Which, given the area that's...
Actually, there's two other theories. But yeah, the mine theory.
But I still feel like you would have found some sort of scent or something, or you would have looked at it like, oh look, there's a hole in the ground now.
Well, supposedly with the vertical ventilation shafts, if there's a bunch of shit over top of it, you can literally fall through and all you're going to see is a hole that big. And in those woods, a searcher could literally step over it and not necessarily notice it.
But if he were to step over it and Homeboy fell through it.
Yeah, I know.
And in 2 days of good weather, it's unlikely that enough debris would come back over the top of him.
And I mean, what kind of shitty luck does it take to be out in the middle of nowhere? Well, he wasn't even out in the middle of nowhere. He was on a well-established walking area.
In a state park area.
Yeah, but, yeah, so I don't know. And the last theory is very out there. I read it on Reddit, so take it for what it's worth, but people who live in the woods. The feral people.
The feral people.
They come up a lot, almost as much as Bigfoot.
Which we know Bigfoot's real.
We do. But yeah, so that is, right now, he's still in the books as a missing person. There have been no confirmed sightings, no remains, none of his gear. Even with all the people that frequent up. Now, in 96, it wasn't such a hot spot, but I've been up there over the summer. The trails are full.
Yeah.
Like, the rail trail is full. There's people everywhere.
Well, any state park, every year they gain popularity.
Yep. But nothing was ever found. No clothing, no gear, no body parts, nothing.
Huh.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm up in the air between falling through a mine shaft, but I feel like you would, it threw up the search.
I'm like this with that.
You'd be like, there's the hole. Where's the hole go?
Yeah, I'm back and forth with that.
And in 96, I'm sure they've probably done enough looking around the park to kind of get an idea where the mine shafts are.
Yeah.
Not like it is today where they're going to label
Unless he was, they know there's none where the paths are, but maybe he was trying to get the perfect shot, went off trail a little bit, and found something that nobody else has noticed before.
That would have been pretty far off trail, because they wouldn't put a designated trail in an area where if you walk 10 feet over here, you're falling down a mine shaft.
If they knew. If they knew. Nothing was documented in the 1800s.
That's true. Well, I'm up between the mine shaft theory and just the clean walkaway with proper planning. It's the only two that make sense to me.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, this one does not fall into the missing 411 category, and I don't know why, because it has everything that the missing 411 category is supposed to have. It has proximity to water, missing without a trace, and the age.
Yeah.
The only thing it didn't have was the bad weather. But that, if you've heard of David Paulides, he did not put him into his cluster map.
Huh.
And I don't know why.
I don't know if there'd be much suspicion around there, or if we're just plain oversight.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that is, that's his story. He's still missing. Maybe this summer we'll have to go, look around up there.
30 years old at this point.
Well, I didn't say we were going to find him, but we can see what it looks like.
I mean, after 30 years, what would we find? If anything.
Bones. Maybe. Maybe he had a styrofoam coffee cup. Those things last forever.
Yeah, there wasn't Yetis in 96.
No. But yeah, if you've been near the Pine Creek Gorge anytime in the last 29 years and came across something strange, reach out to us. Reach out to Troop F of the State Police. They're the ones who ran a lot of the investigation. Or the state park officials. Let them know. If you've got a cold case or a disappearance that you want us to cover next, send it our way. We have every social media there is. Links will be in the show notes. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
And see you next time.
See you next time.